Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and the first soap in the March soap release. This is Botanical Bliss and the theme for this month is spring and botanicals. I'm really looking forward to spring. So let's get started and make this soap. My hard oils have been melted and combined with my liquid oils in my bucket and they're sitting right around 102 degrees Fahrenheit. My lye water solution is at 87 degrees, so they are within 20 degrees of each other. I'm going to start by adding my lye water solution into my oils and stirring with my spatula to combine those. My soap recipe moves very quickly. It has a high percentage of hard oils in it, so all I need to do to emulsify is to stir with my spatula. I have poured off a small amount of soap into my two separate containers. There's about 2 cups in each of these, and I've just added some indigo powder into the first container and some alkanet root into my second. So these are going to be my accent colours, my blue and my purple. And then I'm adding some kaolin clay to my main container for some white. I'm using my stick blender at this stage to combine all of my colorants, make sure that the oils in the lye water solution are fully emulsified, and bring my soap to a thicker trace. I'm going to be doing a drop swirl with this soap, so I want the trace to be between medium and thick trace to hold those drops in shape. The essential oil blend that I'm using in this soap is a blend of lavender and lemongrass essential oils. My soap is as thick as I want it to be at this stage, so I'm going to go ahead and mix the essential oils in with my spatula, and that's going to bring some of the air bubbles out that my stick blender has put in. You can see that the colorants, the indigo and the alkanet, they both turn a very grey shade in raw soap. And as the soap saponifies, those colorants are going to return back to their vibrant colour. So I have my 2 soap molds and I'm going to pour at least 3/4 of the white soap into the base of my molds. And then I'm going to add my 2 accent colours. I'm starting off with my indigo and I'm just going to pour that in lines down the soap. I'm going to do about 3 or 4 passes in each soap mold. I'm pouring from a reasonable height so that I can get the soap down to near the bottom of the mold. Once I've poured most of the indigo, I'm going to add the alkanet soap, and I'm just pouring that right on top of the indigo. And then I'm going to go ahead and add the rest of my white soap. Now I texture the top of all of my soaps. It has become somewhat of a trademark of my soaps in my local area. I did it on one of the first soaps I ever made, and then people started asking if I was the person that made the textured soaps. I really like the look of them. I like the way they make the soap look. They make it stand out from the crowd, and it's pretty simple to do. Like I say, my recipe moves very quickly, so getting a flat top isn't always easy. So to make the texture on the top of my soaps, I just put the spoon into the edge of the soap and pull it into the middle. I like to keep the spoon as vertical as I can and keep those lines nice and clean. And I just pull it towards the center and up and give it a little flick, kind of like a wave at the edge. Now the first time I did this, it didn't have as much definition as I liked, so I waited just a couple more minutes for my soap to set up a little bit more, and then going back and retexturing the top of the soap to give each pass some more definition. The top of this soap is going to be fairly plain and straightforward, and I'm just adding some botanicals onto the top to match the inside of this soap. So for the blue to match the indigo soap, I'm adding some blue pea flowers, and those are fairly large, so I'm going to go ahead and add those right to the middle of the loaf, and I'm just going to add a little sprinkling down the middle. I am making sure that each soap has at least one flower on it, and I'm going to go back and press those down to make sure that they sit into the soap. Some of them are going to fall off when I cut the soap, that can't be avoided, so I'm going to make sure I have enough on there that they will stay on. And I'm going to add some hibiscus flower petals to the top of this soap. These reddish purple flowers are going to match the alkanet root in the middle. So I'm just sprinkling those right on top of the blue pea flowers, and they're going to fall in and around them. I'm adding them quite liberally. As with the other flowers, they are going to fall off somewhat when the soap is cut, so I want to make sure that there will still be some on. And here is a close-up look for you. All of those botanicals stuck on the top there. They're so beautiful and natural, and this soap just smells so clean and fresh. I am placing the soap on my mold so that the botanicals are facing me, so that my wires aren't going to drag any of those botanicals through the soap and end up with a lot of drag marks. So I am going to support the back of the soap to make sure it doesn't tip over as I cut it. Alright, this is what it looks like on the inside. So this is my first bar, and you can see that those colors, the blue and the purple, have really become a lot more vibrant, and they've lost the grey tone that they got when the soap was raw. I just love how the drop shapes turn out in a drop swirl soap. They're so intricate and unique, and each soap is a little bit different. You can see that I did lose some of the botanicals from the top, but each bar does still have some on there. These colors have really popped and become a lot more vibrant and clean. They're just so rustic and natural looking. I chose to use the indigo and alkanet root to colour the accent colours for this soap because they are botanical based colorants, and I just love the colours that I can get from nature. They just remind me of spring and flowers. It's pretty cold and snowy here right now in Maine, and we are starting to look towards the spring, and I can't wait for spring to come. I'm thrilled with the way this soap turned out. I just love the colours that I get, the botanicals on top. So let's take a look at the finished soap. So you can see all the little botanicals that have stayed on top, and the colours have really become a lot more vibrant as the soap has cured. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next Tuesday.